California is entering their 4th year in a record-breaking drought. And more environmentalists are trying to look and see where this water is going and where water usage cutbacks should be made. Over 80% of the state's usable water goes into agriculture, and a surprising amount of that 80% goes into almond production. There's been a recent increase in the production of this tiny nut, and it has put a big dent in the drought in California. So today I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about about the drought and the role that almonds are playing in it. So almonds are one of the world's most popular snacks nowadays, and many Americans are jumping on the health food bandwagon and buying this nut because it is high in fiber and in protein and low in fat. So they want to complete their well-rounded diets. And almonds are only popular in America, though they're gaining more popularity in other countries. Almonds have become our country's top export crop, and China is doing the most buying. In fact, because of China's successful middle class, California almond farmers have increased their planting of almonds by 60% in the last 10 years. Almond investors are making a fortune in this market where almonds are not only wildly popular in the United States, but even more so as an export crop. And since the drive for almonds only keeps increasing, more and more people are entering into this business and planting more trees. So if the almond business is doing well, then what's the problem? Well, I'll tell you. It takes 1 gallon of water to make 1 almond. And you normally don't just eat 1 almond at a time. You'll have 20 or 30 in a snack. So your little snack in the middle of the day that you think is just nothing takes 20 to 30 gallons away from a state that is doing horribly in the drought situation. So I have 2 visual aids here to show you just how severe the situation is. This map is a map of the drought, and the darker the shade of red, the more extreme the drought problem is. So as you can see, California has the darkest colors, and right in the middle is the dark, dark, dark red, which is the exceptional drought. And my second map is of the planting of almonds, and the darker the color green, the more almonds are planted there, and in the exact same spot where all of the problem is where all the almonds are being produced. Okay? So as the drought becomes worse and worse, sacrifices have to be made. And recently the governor of California has called for all of these citizens of California to cut their water usage back by 25%. And in California, but that excluded agriculture, which makes sense because all of our crops are made there. So in California, 80% of the groundwater goes to agriculture, but the crops only yield 1.5% of the state's GDP, and almonds only make up a portion of that 1.5%. To put things into perspective for you, almond farms use more water than all of the combined household water of the California population. So that includes everyone's drinking water, the water everyone does their laundry with, their dishes with, that you bathe with, the water you put in your pools. And a fun fact, the average pool in California is filled with 18,000 gallons of water. So, environmentalists are looking into this almond business and wondering if it's worth the fuss that it's causing with all these Californians who are having to make these sacrifices but aren't necessarily involved in the business and aren't making money off of it. So because of the drought, most of the surface water in California is completely gone. So farmers are having to pump water up from within the ground, and that water cannot be replaced. Once it's gone, it's gone. Because of water pumping, many farming towns in the surrounding areas have seen their wells completely dry up. And as a result, they've had to have emergency water bottles sent in and rationed to the people of those areas. And areas that are further away from the drought have had even more restrictions put on them, more than the 25% that the governor originally said, because their area has been taken over by these almond farms. So they've had to put more restrictions on the amount of water that they use every day. The water pumped up from the ground is also bad because it's rich in vitamins and minerals. Normally, that sounds like something good that you would want to water your plants with, but the water that you pump up from underneath the ground has so many vitamins and minerals that it resembles hard water, and this type of hard water you don't want to overwater your plants with because it'll kill the plants and it'll kill the trees and it'll ruin the soil completely so that you can't plant anything there for a long time. So the damages are very extensive. So the government is trying to regulate the pumping of groundwater because right now there are no no restrictions, and all the farmers who are suffering from this drought and their groundwater's gone, they're going crazy with pumping up the groundwater. And everyone's starting to worry, like, how much do we have left? Are we going to have enough left? So the government wants to put restrictions on it. Unfortunately, that's going to take 6 to 7 years to get everything together, get the legislation passed. Then it's going to take 20 years on top of that before farmers even have to put that legislation into practice. So we're looking at the year 2040 before anything can be done about the pumping of groundwater. And by then, most of it, or even all of it, could be gone. So where will we get the water from after that? That is the question that all the environmentalists are asking themselves. Unfortunately, it seems as if there will be no end to the almond issue. No other country has a climate as conducive as California's for almond growth, and the fad is just growing and growing. So unless the almond fad starts a steady decline randomly, or if the government can find another alternative to the groundwater, then the drought will continue to get worse, and people of California will suffer as a result.
You'll have to stop and sign. Thank you.
These are my